What's happening, folks? It's your man, Patrick the Game Changer Jackson, coming to you again to have another discussion about money, the cash, the flow, the money, the dinero, right? So make sure before you do anything else, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you go to Power Moves 365. A lot of great content is going to be coming your way. Laying the ground floor for a lot of different areas that we're going to be discussing, talking about, because it's time to have some tough conversations that we generally don't have. Some very, 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 very tough conversations that we don't have all the time. Majority of the time, it's something that kind of blows over. It's not a discussion that we generally um, people sometimes feel comfortable talking about, right? Where's your money going? Where's it going? What's the top things that folks are spending money on that's causing us to be in the situations that we're in today? I think it's an important conversation that for us to continue to have, um, and I want to have it just for a little while. You know, hopefully, most of you that are joining, if you're new, make sure that you go and subscribe to Power Moves 365. Go ahead and hit up the YouTube, Facebook accounts, and Instagram accounts that we have. And there's a a lot of different things that's going to be coming up here soon because there's a great need for these conversations. And I've been having these conversations with folks for a while now, and I do some life coaching, guidance on. I do investing and stuff with folks as well, and so I've helped a lot of people throughout the years, and now wanting to real. I've been seeing a lot of the plighted issues we've been having, especially I'm a huge proponent for the Black community. That is where my heart and my soul lies in trying to put us in a better place because we've been um, put in this country in a place of being disenfranchised for so many years. So we're way behind the eight ball. So a lot of my energy goes towards helping us as a people. And this is a particular area when it comes to money, finance, and dollars going into the pocket of the regular Blow Joe, the regular female, the regular Jamal, the regular Tanisha, or whatever you want to call it. The person that folks look over. And a lot of times we don't want to have the tough, hard, and sometimes uncomfortable conversation about money. A lot of time people make folks feel uncomfortable, and that's where kind of where I want to go into and dive into the conversation about, uh, because that's a huge thing. If you're watching, say hello. How you doing? Shout out your name, where you at. Gonna have some great giveaways that's gonna be coming up here soon, for you guys to be able to participate and get involved and be able to win some prizes. I know I like giving stuff away sometimes. I haven't done it in a while. It's probably been about, yes, it's probably since the pandemic hit, right? Since I've done a game changer giveaway. So it's been a minute since I've done that. And so definitely want to try to get back doing that as well. It's always fun to see people win, enjoy themselves. And I like for people to have fun and enjoy the things of life, right? And one of the big headaches and issues that we have in life is money. It is money. So if you're watching, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a share real quick so more folks can jump on here and we can have this very important conversation. You can go back, watch it, give some commentary, give you know, some feedback on it as well, and I'll try to engage when I can. But I think one of the things that is missing is a missing component in the conversation is we don't, as a community, we like to spend money because it's not like we're not making money. And I think that's a huge misconception that we're not making money, or we're not in a position where we're getting money. Now we're making money. Money is being made to some degree, but how where managing the money is a different thing. And I've been, starting to, again, I'm opening it up. I'm gonna work with about 10 to 20 folks uh, with this initial project and so forth, that there is a real way to actually manage what you're trying to do. And so what I've seen, what I've seen is there's a lot of money spent on miscellaneous items, right? It's not the house, the car, it's fast food, it's trying to, going out and, getting a bunch of, clothing items and stuff like that. That becomes more of an issue than anything else. It's not the regular expenses that most people have. It's not that. It's the extra stuff. And so if you're trying to get ahead, what we see is, and next time, um, you know, in one of the other workshops that we're gonna is having folks really see where money is going from point A to point B. Because a lot of time, most people are scared to budget because they don't want to actually look at where their dollars are going. Because it always has to be something else is the problem, right? I'm not making enough money. I haven't gotten a promotion. All of these other different issues, and sometimes we don't look at it internally, and we become a little bit embarrassed. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to keep up with everybody. We're trying to look a certain way. We're trying to be a certain way. And sometimes I tell people this all the time, and I probably say it just about every time I get on here. It's okay to step back, to step forward. And I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of those different steps that can take place in order for you to get to what the destination that you're trying to get to. Because stepping back to step forward is a positive thing. Stepping back to be able to get to where you're trying to get to is not necessarily a bad thing. But it's viewed as that. It's viewed as that. You gotta have the new this. You gotta look like this. You gotta, present yourself and have this, and that. It's always you got to have in order to look apart, but then really don't have. And that's a huge problem and issue that we have as a community. We're not having enough of those conversations. You don't have to spend money on everything in order to look good. You can look good without having to spend a bunch of money. I don't spend a bunch of money on clothes and all that type of stuff. And I look good all the time. Okay. I look good all the time. Now, if you need some tips on that, I can help, some of the fellas with that as well. Because you can look good without spending a gang of money. You know what I mean? That they ain't, all your money shouldn't be tied up in clothes and stuff like that. But then the other thing is spending money out to eat, spending money, going out, spending money, doing things. And if you don't have some type of budget in place, you'll never get your debt down to where it needs to be. A lot of people are afraid to look at their debts. They're afraid to look at exactly where the money is going, exactly where that money is being tied to in order for themselves to be elevated. And so, as we continue to have these conversations and topics, probably in the next month or so, you'll be able to see some of the testimonies of people that are being helped. It's going to be real life situations, real life scenarios of folks that are being helped. And that's where, it's one person, one family at a time. Because if you're going to build any type of generational wealth, that's the conversation of money has to be a focal point. If we're going to build any type of community, the conversation of money has to be a focal point for the regular family, regardless of whether you scrub toilets or you a CEO of a major 500 company. Every person has a place and they have the ability to build, and that's where the mentality is that, oh man, I have to get to this place in order to. That's a huge misconception. You can never start in a wrong place. Wherever you at, that's where you start. Wherever you are, that is where you start. If you do not start, you will never finish. You're sitting around waiting on what? We're waiting for progress. We're waiting for me to get this next raise. We're waiting for this business to kick off. But a lot of times we haven't put things in place so that we can allocate the funds properly. So, like I'll say time and time again, it's not about how much money you have. It's about what you do with the money you do have. The amount of money that you have coming in doesn't matter. And so that's one of my goals, and one of our goals is to try to get people in a place and into a mindset to change their thinking, that it's not about the glitz and glam, because we all want it. You know what I mean? That's the pressure of the culture, right? That's the pressure of the culture. But if you want to be that, get yourself to a particular place. There we go. My bad, folks. Sorry about that. It went crazy for a moment, went out on me. But going back, one of the conversations is that we have to make sure that the things that we uh, are trying to obtain line up with what we're trying to, where we're at the moment, right? So if we're the balance of where the money that you have coming in, right, does not align itself with what you're trying to achieve, it's not about you just going and working a lot more, right? A lot of people just, yo, I got to get more money. I got to make this money. I got to make this money. Well, sometimes you have to first look at, and this is what I tell a lot of people, is look at how can I lower my expenses? What things that, what are the things that I have right now that I really don't need, right? I don't need all of these things. It's not a need, it's a want. So really tallying the two between your needs and your wants, your needs and your wants. And sometimes those things get conflicted. We intermingle needs and wants, right? You don't need Netflix, right? You don't need it, right? It's a want. It's a part of enjoyment. You don't need that extra item that you want to order from Amazon, right? You don't need it. You don't need the latest iPhone, right? The one you had before works perfectly fine. Get a new cover or whatever, jazz it up, make yourself feel good about it, right? You don't need a lot of these things that we're saying that we need. It's all, majority of it is wants. And so a lot of time you could increase your income just by cutting out some of the expenses so you can get some of the things that you're wanting to do and need. One of the big things that I talk about um, is really allocating where the structure of how you're going to really sit down with yourself, because I think 2020 definitely was a tough year. 2021, we're praying, we're hoping for a better year, but hopefully we're not taking that same mindset into 2021 and for the rest of the year. Today can be a turning curve for some folks. Today can be an encouraging move for others, to get on, some family members, get on some folks that you love, to really steer them in the right direction, because there is no way, and this is and I try to say this more often than not, that we enable us to continue to be in a poverty minded situation. We do that. We do that to ourselves a lot. We don't push friends, family, loved ones into financial freedom, success, wealth. Is because everybody in the group is in the same mind frame, right? Until somebody in the group changes the mind and say, "Hey, man, we're doing something wrong, and we got to do something different. We have to do something different. We have to have another conversation about how wealth and wealth building is going to take place in our communities." Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be anyone that's coming in on a saving grace situation. We're relying on the government and all this other type of stuff, which is cool. They're help. But even in those situations, is almost a crippling situation. Is it a help up or a handout? And that's where I'm at. I'm no longer in the handout situation. I'm not into handouts anymore. I don't need to hand out anything to you. Now I'll give you a hand up. Now, do you want a hand up from your situation that you're at? And sometimes it's cold hard truth, and that's all you've always gotten from me. That that I know that's a staple of what I like to represent and always be. Is that I'm just gonna give you the cold hard truth. Hey, you like it, you like it. If you don't, go your own way. But that's very important. It's very important that we continue to share the information with each other and just be honest. You can't over here just doing the same thing over and over and expecting something different. It's just not gonna happen. And we in America, I'm gonna go into a point real quick. Roseanne said, yes, if you don't step forward, you'll always be in the same place. That's true. That's true. If you don't step forward, you would always stay solid foundation where you're at. You'll end up being almost like cement. And then you create excuses. We create excuses as to why we're there. It's somebody else's fault. This person is the problem. This person caused me to be in this situation. And I'm gonna have a whole bunch of stuff that I'll be able to share with y'all. Um, but that's gonna come at a later time. So I'll be able to share some great information. Terrible for me, but it's gonna be great for y'all. Because going through these lessons, these life lessons, that I'll be able to be a little bit vulnerable with you all, uh, so that you can understand that it's a mindset. No matter where you're at, I don't care what place you're in, what financial state you're at, what type of job you got, whatever it is, there is a way for you to take yourself to the next level if you're willing. If you're willing to take that next step, that's the key. If you're willing to take that next step, it's going to take you, your family, your loved ones, and others to really put you in that state. Because just everything that glitter ain't gold. And I tell people that all the time. Just because a person look like they got money, they ain't got money. Just because a person don't look like they ain't got money, don't mean that they don't have money. So I know more millionaires that don't look like they got money than those that look like the millionaires that don't. So it's all based on the eye of the beholder of what that person values. So that's where I want to try to help folks, and it's exciting. I've been excited. We've been excited about trying to really help people and take their lives on this journey and being a part of that, being a part of that journey, being able to see folks, um, minds open up and be open and vulnerable and say, hey, man, I do need some help. Hey, I do want to do something different. We haven't been taught. Our parents and grandparents didn't teach us, a lot of different things that we should have been taught. A lot of things that we didn't even learn in school. Small. I mean, it's crazy. The financial institution, the financial world, the things that are practical things in life were not taught, in school, and even with math, it's interesting. I mean, we go all the way from algebra and pre-algebra, algebra, geometry, and trigonometry. I mean, we do all these different, but we ain't talking about no money. How the financial sector works. Banking. Just small stuff. Banking, how the banking institution works, savings. Stocks, bonds. IRAs. Wealth accounts. It's so many different areas that we're not taught. And it's like they expect you to learn that thing in college, but then even college really don't even dive in it in the way that it should. So I think it's extremely important for folks to realize that it's going to take more than the average Joe, right? It's going to take more than that. It's going to take more. It's going to take your efforts, the efforts that you put forth is going to determine a lot. I mean, your efforts, the efforts of what that person or that individual is willing to put forward is going to mean, I mean, the world really, because it's predicated on what you determining what's going to happen. You determine that. You determine that. You determine what's going to happen with that next. You determine how it's going to play forward. You determine every aspect of it. So if you're not willing to put in the work, then it's you're losing every single time. Every single time. You're gonna lose. You're not gonna win. The people around you are extremely important. Your influences, the people that you allow to influence you, is so important. The people you allow to influence you, those individuals that you're allowing to be in your life, that are friends and or family, they are determining the outcome of a lot of the spending habits, right? They're the ones wanting to go and do the next thing and go and get glammed up to do this and go do that. And then at the end of that, still broke. At the end of that, still don't have any money. At the end of that, still looking at the next thing that that person is wanting to do and willing to do. But this is why we have to stop making excuses for each other. I'm down and out and I need this and I need that. That's great. But it shouldn't be for the next 10, 15 years. How you down and out for 10, 15 years? You haven't created, again, somebody haven't stopped you for a moment and say, hold on, baby, let's look at this. Hold on, bro. Hey, let's we gotta work this thing out, man. Something ain't adding up right. You got this coming in and you got this amount coming in, but this, you show every month, you show on everything. So you have to look at and monitor what you really got coming in and out and be honest. Folks, that's the main thing, folks. It's almost like even with the gym and weight and stuff, looking at yourself and be like, you ain't doing but lying to yourself. You ain't lying to nobody, you lying to yourself. You know what's going on with your weight. You know what's going on with it, but you want to act like getting off the scale a little bit, a few pounds will come off of that. You ain't doing but lying to yourself. So not adding all the expenses that you're spending when you're tallying your budget, all you're doing is doing damage to yourself. You ain't doing damage to nobody but you. You're the main one you have to sit down with. You're the main one that your life that you're trying to determine. So regardless of what anybody else says, what anybody else thinks, what anybody else wants to say about you, whatever it is, man, get out of your own way because nobody else matters. Nobody. Nobody else should matter. Let me say it like that. No one else should matter. There's going to be a lot of great things that's going to be coming up that we're excited about, and we're going to be able to help some folks really get and achieve some of the things that they want to achieve. That's one of the main things. If you want to achieve something, make sure you go to the website, sign up. There's some great things that are going to be coming your way. I'll be having some videos and stuff that'll be coming to you guys, and being able to really hone down on the individual, the personalizing it for you, right? It's a personal thing. Whatever you got going on in your life, whatever it is that you're saying that you have going on for your, you know, your life and what the things that you want to see, then that's going to be a major determining factor for the next. I mean, who knows? The decisions that you're making are going to impact. I mean, think about it, generations to come. The decisions that are being made today are going to determine generations to come. The money, what is being spent, um, it all comes together with everyone. Everyone, everyone. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that if you're going to um, take a moment and take a time to really stop and think about where you're at, then it's gonna help to some degree. It's gonna help to some degree. Let's see. I think that will help a lot. If you're focused. David said, "What happens when your monthly overhead is due to the starting of businesses and investments?" I mean, that's a huge point. That's a budgeting factor, right? Whether you're starting a business and stuff like that, if you're starting a business or you're investing, that takes a budget as well. Everything is a budget. Everything should have a budget. Whether it's investing, whether it's starting a business, and that's where again, going back to where the focus of where I'll be going in is really the personal finance to set up the ability to be able to have a sustainable and running business. So if the personal is set up and budget right, being able to set up that same process with the business simultaneously. And a lot of times we'll see of course, we have mom and pop businesses and things like that, that can grow exponentially, in in such a fast rate that is determined by the amount of energy and effort that is put on the personal side. And so if the personal side is set up properly, then the other part will kind of slide in a little bit better, because then the access to everything becomes, put yourself in a better situation. You also said, right now at this point in my life, this has been the most I've ever invested. My monthly overhead is due to investments and startup costs. Yeah, yeah, that's generally what will happen. But as long as it's budgeted outright, just like any business, if you have the a certain amount that's coming in, if you have a certain amount that's coming in, right? Um, if it's you started in it's a $5,000 a month monthly budget that you have, and then the startup cost is an initial um, $10,000 to $20,000, then it will put yourself in a position to be successful at the end of the day. So if you're wanting more and doing more, if you're putting yourself in a position to be better, to be great, then of course, the investment is going to supersede itself, um, time and time and time again. So if you're looking at what's going to happen next, then it's not going to hurt the other efforts that you have. Huh? Okay. So at the end of the day, regardless of what you're trying to obtain, regardless of where you're headed, the next phase or step or whatever it is that you're trying to do is going to um, put you in a place to where it can continue to grow. So if the monthly budget is 5,000 a month, and that's what the predetermined that's going to come in, and the initial cost is like 20 G's to start it up. If that's an initial cash investment, then that could be the case. If it's a loan, all those things kind of become the factor as well. Once that it goes into the business side, if it's going to be a loan, you're going to put it on credit cards. Is it an angel investor that's investing in it? That's equity partner? Is it cash from another business? Is it cash that was saved up and then put into the actual business itself? And the anticipation of extra capital coming from that. There's multiple ways, of course, to um to invest in the business where the cash flow is put up properly. And so and I'll see a lot of people that have been in business and folks that run businesses, and it's you got to make sure that your books and stuff is lined up, make sure things are set up properly, making sure that taxes and stuff is being paid, that the marketing budget is in place. All those things, it becomes another household, like your business becomes another household that you have to make sure that you budget properly. Because once it's budgeted properly, then you can determine your bottom lines, where your profits are at, you know, and then kind of see where you can squeeze um, overhead costs, and then of course, increase your profit margins from there. But one of the main things that I have a conversation on is, you know, making sure, number one, that the personal stuff is set up properly first. Because once that's set up properly first, if there's a system in place, everything else from business to investments to doing everything else is going to be able to flow a little bit more, a lot better, a lot better. Because those things have to be set up first. If it's set up properly first, then everything, the sky's the limit. But a lot of time we get caught up in the look of things and wanting to be a certain way and look a certain way, and that's where money just flows and goes out. And then people, even at some point, I see, thinking that you got money. Money can be flowing in. You be bringing in $20,000 a month. You know what I mean? Good money coming in. It's some nice little cash flow. That's coming in. But then money goes. You spending money, too much money. You'll see cats all the time. The preparation, money coming in, but where is it being reinvested? Is it being saved? Is it being put somewhere else? That's one of the main goals of what we as a community are trying to, really obtain. So as I do these small clip conversations, a lot of it be trying to get some stuff. I have some conversations with a couple of people trying to help folks and really get people in line of what's to come. It's really trying to help folks get to where they're trying to go. If you're trying to get to a certain place and you're trying to not having the capacity to help a bunch of people, but being able to take a few folks under the wing, help them and guide them, put them in a better situation for wealth building. And again, the goal this year is to increase Black wealth by $1 million, and that is already in the verge of happening in the month of February. So we're already on track, starting to get to that hitting, on the verge of starting the process of hitting those goals by the end of this year. And we'll definitely periodically give updates on where we're at, and it's going to be a fun ride. I'm excited. I'm extremely excited about it because it's going to take a lot of effort, energy, and folks sometimes, folks can get indifferent. It could be an interesting conversation. It could be an interesting conversation with some folks because money isn't an easy topic. Funds, money, that stuff is not an easy conversation to have, and I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it time and time and time again. So many people getting caught up, and a lot of times it's just friends and family, and it's typically the people that's close to you. It's not folks that are on the outside. They have an influence, right? They have a particular influence on you, but it's not the end all be all. They're not the last stop. They're just the people that kind of get in your mind of hey, this will look dope and that'll look nice, and all of a sudden you buying all of these different things, and it's not doing anything for you. Man, I see it, and one of the things, I'm gonna pull this up real quick, and I'm gonna try to see if I can pull it up. But it's not an easy conversation that any of us can have, especially with loved ones. Sometimes, right? It's not always extremely easy to pull out everything that has happened to you, that's been ingrained in you. We haven't been taught how to properly budget. We haven't been taught how to, make sure that our credit is straight, making sure that the things that we have um aligned for our children is set up properly. It's a lot of different things that we haven't been taught, just from a personal basis. And I know, we've been a lot on, you know, trying to deal with, racism. There's a major movement that I've been especially proud to be a part of, with, changing laws and supporting black businesses and, spreading that black dollar, which is great. And so I see that missing component of, you know, how are we allocating the black dollars, the black home, the black family? Are we in place to really build some type of black wealth? And that conversation is kind of washed 'cause, it goes down to the personal individual. And there's no major way to really market that, right? It's not, hey, come and, get my t-shirt, whatever, right? It's not, is hey, I need to get my stuff in order so that my future and my family's future is in a better place. That's the huge conversation that we're trying to have, and hopefully we can have more conversations like this because it's important. I hope more and more people start to talk about the management, and I get hit up a lot about investing and into stocks, certain stocks and stuff like that. Hey man, which ones are you into? Which moves are you making? Sometimes I share some of that information with folks. Um, I'll be bringing some guys that are heavy, heavy hitters into the trading world, and so although I give some of my insights of what I do, but again, it's going back down to the regular Joe Blow individual, right? It's not, that's trying to get on track, and those that are on track get their stuff in order to where they can really make a major impact on their bottom line of expenses that they have already. So the folks going to be saving a bunch of money coming in soon. I'm gonna be bringing some stuff out probably tomorrow night. I'll probably come back if I have time and have this conversation with you all about how we're going to help take you all to that next level. That's going to be extremely important for all of us. All of us have a place to play in all of this. So I'm extremely excited to have some folks on to have these conversations. It's going to be fun, information and fun conversations that we're going to have, and hopefully we can get folks and shake them up and do something great, to where they can see the major impact in their lives. Really making an impact in someone's life, that is life changing for generations and generations to come. That has to be a major focus for us as a community, and and that's where my passion lies at this at this moment, is trying to get us to where we are financially in a place of wanting to wealth build. Bottom line, period. And so, if a person is interested, make sure you go to Power Moves 365, create an account. I'll be sending folks links. Make sure you go and like and share the page on Instagram, Facebook. We're also on YouTube. Make sure you hit us up on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube page. Make sure you go and do that. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm telling you, this is an opportunity that you all do not want to miss out on, because there's gonna be some great things coming down the pipeline, some awesome opportunities coming down the pipeline. And if you are not locked in and ready to go, you will miss out. You will miss out. I promise you, you will miss out. There's going to be some fun stuff that's going to be happening. Black History Month has been tremendously awesome, but it's going to take a lot of you that is going to put in the work, put in the time, and put in the effort. If you're not willing to do that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Keep it strolling, keep it pushing. But I'm looking for those few that's really wanting to get serious, that really wants to tie in what they want to accomplish and really make some moves. So in 2021, there's going to be some really cool moves made, man. And I've been super, 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 super. I mean, I haven't been this on 10 in a while with everything that's been going on in 2020, man. And I'm extremely excited about these next moves that are going to happen. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure that you tune in. Make sure you go to powermoves365.com. Sign up, make an account, man. It's absolutely free. It's not a charge. It's not of anything like that. It's going to take a lot of great work, that folks want to um, get involved in and chime in and do, but it's going to put y'all in a position to be successful. If it's not progress, then it's failure. That's how I view it. We do it one or two things consistently at every second and every moment. We are either going up or we're going down, and that's with everything in life. Your health is either getting better or it's getting worse. Hey, what's going on, James? What's going on, brother? So it's either going up or it's going down. Either way, you have to make that decision on what you want to do. And so if you want to try to put yourself in a better financial situation, guess what? I'm gonna try to help you. I'm gonna try to help you. I'm telling you, the things that are gonna be coming down the pipeline. If you can purchase the house, if you can purchase the car, anything that you put yourself in position to do, I'm going to be able to show you methods that can really put yourself in a position to be successful. If you just got a job, and or you're trying to get yourself out of a bunch of credit card debt, you're needing a solid plan. That those are things that I'm trying to help folks with, so that they can become successful and then start all of those other building blocks. Because there's going to be a building block system after that. Wherever you at, wherever place you in, if your credit and stuff is jacked up, that is fine. There's we're gonna start wherever you at, being 100% truthful and honest. Then all of a sudden, boom! Now we're gonna take you off to a whole nother level, and that's what it's all about. You're gonna be able to see if those that want to wait, you can wait. Check it out later. You'll be able to see some of the folks that are going to be gravely impacted by some of the moves and changes that are going to be taking place. So I tell you what, make sure that y'all go to powermoves365.com, go and create an account. Make sure that you go like, share, and subscribe to Power Moves 365 on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure y'all go like and share. Make sure y'all go and do that ASAP. Gonna be doing some game changer giveaways here soon. So make sure y'all stay locked. Stay tuned. Man, it's gonna be a fun ride. And it's something that y'all are not going to want to miss. I promise you, it's not going. You will not want to miss this because we get tied up in a lot of controversy and issues and problems and stuff like that. But you got to be about your money, man. You got to be about your money. If you ain't about your bread, if you ain't about your paper, if you ain't about your dinero, you ain't trying to get yourself, your family, and your situation into a better place because you don't want to be out here struggling month to month to month to month to month, man. I tell people all the time, you should be out here struggling month to month to month to month. That there's a fundamental problem and issue that needs to be pointed out, talked about, planned, prepare, and then execute. That's it. And so if you stay according to the plan that was prepared and you begin to execute it, then you're putting yourself in a phenomenal position to be successful. You're putting yourself in a phenomenal position to be able to do so much more than what most folks are in right now. So I'm going to continue to encourage so many people to be the best that they can be during the time that they can be it because it's not going to be easy. It's going to take so much more than what we are looking at now. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I love y'all.